I need to ask you to stop. Seriously, stop trying to make me look guilty in a murder mystery. As I already told you, I care deeply for Helena. I would never have harmed her. Now if you'll excuse me! I've had enough of this conversation for a moment. Well then. Come back here a moment, Lord Violette. Now look what you've done! You've harassed poor Sir Grayson until he can hardly handle it any longer. Please excuse my hasty words, but I've had enough. Lord Violette, you act so high and mighty, as if you've never done anything wrong in your life. Who are you to accuse any of us? It's not as if you've never had anything questionable in your past. What do you mean by that, Miss Charlotta? Only that, while you act as if you've got so much dirt as you have on Mr. Grayson, I have a bit on you. Do you now? And what do you have? Let me get a comfortable seat over here. Ah, yes, that's better. Okay, now I'm ready. Please share. Oh, yes, a gentleman of much levity. That's what you are. Do you use humor to mask your fear, Lord Violette? Fear? I've got nothing to speak of, except perhaps an unidentified murderer running around in his big old mansion. I won't lie, that does make me a bit jumpy. I think that makes us all feel that way, Lord Violette. But before we go any further, I feel like I must reveal what I know. Yesterday, between rain showers, I took advantage of the few moments of reprieve to weed the rapidly overgrown gardens. Helena always liked, God rest her soul, for me to do a bit of weeding every day so the plants don't get choked by the grass. While I was out there, I saw something in the mud of the garden. It was barely recognizable, but it looked like a piece of paper. Ah, piece of paper. So incriminating. Ha! Well, it could be. Here, I have it with me still. It reads, Violette. As your parents might have told you, I once worked at the Chateau de Rouge. It was almost a lifetime ago. What you probably don't know is that I was wrongfully fired. My termination was causeless, and I've always resented the Montagues for their treatment of me. And that's all it says? The other half is ripped and missing. Ah, yes. I wondered where that letter went. Thank you for returning it to me. Half of it, anyway. Do you have anything to say for yourself? About what? My personal correspondence? No, the contents of the letter. I see nothing to explain. You simply found a letter that I've been missing. Ugh. I suppose I shall have to speak quite plainly then. Who is your letter from? A distant relative who used to work here. I thought that was pretty clear from the letter itself. Of course, but few people carry vindictive letters from their distant relatives on their person, and then lose half of them in the gardens of houses they do not own. True enough. So you simply refuse to explain yourself? Not entirely. There isn't anything to tell. I had a great uncle here who used to work here as a servant. I didn't know much about his termination, but the Montagues let him go, just as the letter said. And that's it? You don't carry any decades-old vendetta that you're bent on carrying out for your humiliated ancestor, really? Like 20 years ago, you humiliated my great-uncle, and now I want to kill you? Come on, no, of course not. How silly. I barely knew my great-uncle. What do I care about his past grievances? I already admitted to a little bit of unintentional trespassing. I suppose I dropped the letter then. I don't know, Esme saw you rip a letter in half. And that's all you admit? What else would you have me say? That I had a burning desire to avenge my ancestor because of a family grievance? That I deliberately moved here with a bloodlust to kill all living Montagues? Ha ha ha! How preposterous that all sounds, don't you think? Perhaps, but I don't know. I don't know who to believe tonight. But I do. And I believe Miss Charlotta. For I have found the other half of Violette's letter. What? Just now? While you were in the restroom? Huh? No, I wasn't in the... Never mind. No, I found this piece of paper yesterday when I had taken a walk between rain showers. Of course, the weather has been beastly this week, so I was feeling rather cooped up in this house. The first chance I got to escape the walls, so I went for a walk in the woods. That was when I spotted something small and crumpled, caught between some branches. A torn piece of paper. And from catching the tail end of what Charlotta was saying, I believe I have the other half of her letter. Listening around the corner, eh? As I was saying, I found this piece of paper outside, and I believe it's the second half of the letter Charlotta found. It reads, Despite my hatred of the family, I did not have time to remove my greatest treasure from the manor before they threw me out. If you're reading this letter, that means I passed on, and you are the sole heir to the Violette fortune. Go to Chateau de Rouge, and discover the treasure which is hidden in the... And that's all it says. So clearly, even with my half and Charlotta's half, we are still missing part of the letter. Perhaps you still have it, Lord Violette? Wish I could help you, but that letter reached me like that, with the second page missing. I accidentally tore the first page in half, which is what you two hold in your hands. But there never was a second page, that I know of anyway. If there was, it's lost now. So what exactly are you concerned about? The letter speaks of your ancestor leaving his greatest treasure inside the Chateau de Rouge. Seems that might be a good explanation for why you've been lurking around the grounds so much. It would seem that way. So you admit you've been searching for such a treasure? I do. Oh, well, that was easy. Of course, I've nothing to hide. Now that it's out, I admit that I bought the house next door with the hopes of being able to search for the treasure. Since I was unsure whether my great-uncle hid his so-called treasure in the house or on the grounds, I started with the grounds. I was hoping I could eventually become friends with Helena so I could ask her if I could search the house, but as we all know, that didn't exactly go as planned. Because you killed her! I didn't kill her! I was merely searching the grounds looking for a place where perhaps my great-uncle hid the treasure, and working up the nerve to go into the house to introduce myself so I could ask to search inside too. So, you've searched the house now that you've been here? You tell me. I've clearly been in the presence of either yourself or Lady Diana, or Miss Charlotta, or Madame Esme. The entire time I've been here tonight. When would I have found a chance to abscond? When could he have committed murder? Either. No, I suppose not. But still, you could have looked around at some point. He could have broken into the house, killed Helena many hours earlier, and then snuck back outside. If I had found my treasure, do you think I'd still be here? None of us could leave. The water's just too high around the chateau. But I only live nearby. I could easily cut through the woods, ford the stream, and get hopelessly lost again. Well, yes, that is also a possibility. And we're right back to where we started, with you being my prime suspect. Well, ever since it was revealed that your family name has fallen from grace, you really have dropped the Gracious Monarch Act, haven't you? Now you're just making accusations all over the place. There isn't much propriety to be kept when someone's dearest friend lays upstairs dead. Boys, no more fighting. I must say my head is absolutely aching from all your bickering, and I need my mind to be clear to steer us through this dark night. Let your quarrel be settled for a moment. Oh, and I suppose that you have the answer to everything? The answer? Why, no, at least not yet, anyway. What I do have is a thought. A very good thought.